Hello, this is Chan. What am I doing in this project? I am attempting, or will be doing, extracting this material, this herb from India, cardamom ground powder, which has a mint to a nutty to a pine to a cinnamon, different types of mixtures that you can smell. So what I'll be doing, I'll be opening this up, and I hope I won't spill anything of it, spill much of it. It has I can't recognize the aroma, but it has like a cinnamon, like a nutmeg with pine and that kind of combination. The more I smell it, the more I wonder about it. But it's supposed to have very unique. I can't recognize the smell at first, but it has this pine. I can sort of smell. Oh, it's strong. A pine ginger mint. Like I can smell a slight mint. I have really good smell factors because of. Just removing the lid on the jug. Now we need a funnel. I'm making sure it's dry. Now, this stuff is not toxic, but it produces aroma. So if you're allergic to this kind of stuff, I wouldn't do it. But it can create an interesting aroma, which, can you see what I'm doing? Maybe I should wait and turn on the light. And now I have to shake it with the funnel to get the powder into the jar, the wine jug. And this will allow the ethanol and the material to mix, and I can just some will escape from this method, but I can still smell the aroma. A mint, a mint. I don't know what it is. It's like a minty type aroma. Like a mint pine ginger-like mix. It's very, very unique. And each person smells those kind of things differently. I'll put that away and I'll move this over here. And then we're gonna. Now, the powder, we're putting in ethanol. We'll pour the ethanol into the jug with the funnel, and then we will add the mineral oil and the polyglycol and the polysorbate 80 to basically act as a preservative to prevent bacteria or any yeast that's in there naturally from growing and doing weird things to your sample. It is an interesting process. You need ethanol, I presume, 70% ethanol or 90% ethanol. If you use other alcohols like rubbing alcohol, it will completely destroy your smell, your extraction of the scent. And man, you can feel it's quite cold. It's at 9 degrees Celsius. That's kind of cool. Now, looking at this at the light, use the pipettes. What I'll be doing is adding food grade mineral oil to make sure it's actual. She just doesn't need the pipette because it has its own little stirring thing. So you just pour a little bit in. The quality control amount that you need isn't much. The hard part is putting in the polysorbate because it's so viscous. It's an oil that basically is hard to remove as pipette cleaning, because this is $20 for 100 milliliters of the stuff. I want to make sure it lasts. And it's odorless, so it doesn't interact with your perfume aroma making. It's a very effective way of doing things. As you can see, pipettes are preferred. There might be a mess with the pipettes pouring out because it's such a hard thing to work with, but none of this stuff is super dangerous, and it can be kind of hard to work with. As you can see, it's doing weird things with the pipette, but I don't know why. Yeah, that's all I can do for now for that one. I've set up a better lab for this kind of stuff. May move this away, put the pipettes a bit further away. So what I'll be doing is adding propylene glycol. It's 100%. It's 2 ounces. USP grade is quite important. You can get this on Etsy, eBay, or that, but I'm just using a very small bottle. This is a few milliliters of a solution. Maybe about 2-3 milliliters of solution. If I continue, I'm gonna pop the pipette. So I'm gonna put that somewhere. Now, what we're gonna do is put the lid on very carefully so we don't have it spill and lose our product. And we have to occasionally shake the material. Do this a thorough shaking like that. Here's a little powerful light. Maybe I can do this and then shake it. It's heavy too because it's the ethanol and the material for one hand. It's a little bit difficult. And that's quite simple. You now have a Cardamon extraction with ethanol and other materials that will, over a period of time, preserve it. And what you can do, this is winter time, you can store it in a garage or someplace insulated around 2 or 3 degrees after you're done, and that will protect the sample. It will prevent oxidation and air and that kind of stuff inside the jug or the fermentation bottle. And what will happen here is starting to settle. You will get diffusion of the materials which are quite soluble in ethanol, and basically you'll get like the oil. The oil from the mineral oil will stay in the top, especially with the polypropylene 80 as preserve, and it will block oxygen inside there. So when you block oxygen, it will prevent oxygen from reaching down and destroying your product. This takes probably about 3-4 months. I'll keep a track on it. But this is what I do. I thought this would be quite interesting, and it is an interesting aroma. I can't wait to see what it will be like when I open it up a few times and give different smells. In fact, I'll open it up now, carefully. Yeah, it is strong, but the thing is, when you put ethanol into it, the ethanol overwhelms your material for a while until it diffuses. So shaking it and waiting weeks and weeks and weeks is an important process. So I'll be doing that for a while and shaking it, and then that will be the video. So I mean, yeah, a really important factor is denatured alcohol like this. Don't drink it, but it's to make aromatherapy that can do. There are a few ways you can purify this even more, and that is by filtering it, might work, centrifuging it, or just those are the 2 ways. This is a crude product. This cannot be used, but you can put it out with in a beaker or a flask with some cotton, and it will slowly diffuse, and you're able to smell the aroma. I've done this. I mean, I've also experimented with diffusers, like the ultrasonic diffusers, but a lot of this stuff would interfere and block it. You'd have to find a way of ultra purifying it. You'd have to maybe have to centrifuge it several times, or filter it, then centrifuge it, filter it again, just to get a very, very pure product. So all the particles of the material after a while cannot get in and prevent it. It could work. Now I know there's ethanol in here, ethanol in our materials that might stick. It might not work long term. Do at your own risk if you're going to do it, but I think it could have potential to be put into a diffuser if you centrifuge it or filter it with coffee filters and that kind of stuff, and let it drip, and that after it's been sitting around for 3 or 4 weeks. No, 3 or 4 months. This method is slow, but then you get a really, really powerful aroma. I like making aroma scents and perfumes and that kind of stuff. As I explained, this is something I haven't done before. I have ginger, and I might get other spices on Amazon, but actually there's a little bit left that I think I'm going to open up and put back in. This might be a little bit harder because it's wet. It might stick to it, but I didn't notice that was a little bit left. Why waste the cardamom powder? See, it does contaminate it. You have to wash that. But it does have a nice smell. It would be extremely interesting to see what this smells like over a long period of time. As I tighten it, again, continuously shake like this a couple hours a day, off and on, and that. The colder the temperatures, the better it is at just fusing the natural compounds from the ethanol into your solution. But this takes a long time. This is tedious, but you can get a really good aroma that can last for years and years and years. I mean, why buy this stuff when you can actually make it? That's the point. You can get very unique stuff with just spices and that kind of stuff, but I found that in past that mixing different spices might not have the same compatibility with the aroma. You might get weird aroma mixes between it. So it's something else you got to think of, and you have to be careful of the fact that when you're doing this, people could be very allergic to the stuff. So just remember that. Chan out. Thanks for watching this video.